Tom, where are you? It's past the meeting time.
Sorry, I'm running a bit behind.
My parents are already waiting. They took time off work for this.
Sorry, Sarah. Something urgent came up at work. I might not be able to make it to your parents' house today.
You've got to be kidding. It's already been arranged.
I really am sorry. The timing is terrible.
You're kidding, right? Today we're supposed to announce our engagement to my parents.
I know, I feel awful about this.
They've been looking forward to this for weeks. My mom even prepared a special lunch.
I know, but work is work. Can't be helped. I feel really bad about it.
What kind of work suddenly came up? You didn't mention anything yesterday.
It's a sudden client emergency.
Tom, is this really about work?
What? What's with that question?
You usually tell me the details about work programs. You're being really vague.
It's just complicated to explain over text.
Well, your company's completely closed on weekends. You've never had to work on your days off before. Could it be that you've changed your mind about marrying me?
Of course not. There's an issue with the client that needs handling. Even though the office is closed, I need to go to the client site.
Which client? You've never mentioned weekend visits before.
It's a new client, very important to the company.
Can't someone else handle it? This is our engagement announcement.
I'm the only one who can deal with this particular situation.
I see. Sorry for doubting you. If it's work, it can't be helped. I'll explain to my parents.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm really sorry about canceling last minute.
They're going to be so disappointed. Mom already told the relatives.
I'll make it up to them next time.
Just call me when you're done with work and things settle down. We'll need a new date for the engagement announcement.
Got it. I'll call you soon. Please give my apologies to your parents.
When do you think you'll be finished? Maybe we could still do dinner.
I'm not sure. Don't wait up.
Okay, well, good luck with work. I hope everything goes well.
Thanks for understanding.
I trust you, Tom. That's what matters.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Tom, it's 3 minutes before our meeting time. Where are you?
Sorry, Sarah. I knew I should have called earlier, but it was hard to say this, so I kept putting it off.
We rescheduled this specifically for today. Everyone is waiting again. Don't tell me it's work again.
Huh, you guessed it.
You've got to be kidding.
Actually, it's not work this time. I'm just canceling. I'm calling off our marriage, so today's engagement announcement is canceled.
What? Is this some kind of joke?
Well, take care.
Wait a minute. You can't just suddenly call off the marriage. Explain yourself properly.
Well, when you ask for an explanation.
After 4 years together, I deserve more than this. You proposed to me because you wanted to marry me, right? You even gave me an engagement ring. Why are you suddenly calling it off?
Actually, I got back together with my ex.
What? You're with her right now, aren't you? That's why you won't say any of this to my face.
Yeah, and I'm going to marry her instead. That's why I want to break up with you.
No. Wait. Are you serious about getting back with your ex?
Of course. I wouldn't joke about something like this.
The same ex you told me was impossible to deal with? But you always said your ex was a terrible person. You used to complain to me all the time about how she was beautiful, but had awful relationships with men, cheated constantly, couldn't keep a job, and always caused you trouble. You're really getting back together with someone like that?
She is troublesome, but I never got over her.
What? All this time?
Even while dating you, I never forgot about her. I've never loved anyone as much as her.
No way. You were hung up on your ex this whole time? What about all those promises you made?
I started dating you because you were the complete opposite of her. I wanted to forget her quickly. Surprisingly, the time with you was fun, and I felt comfortable. I really did want to marry you. But the other day, when I was supposed to go to your parents' house, I got a message from her saying she wanted to meet.
What? You said it was urgent work that day. You lied and went to meet your ex?
I had no choice. She said she'd jump off a building if I didn't meet her. She'd just broken up with her boyfriend and was acting self-destructive. I didn't know what she might do if I wasn't there.
So that whole work emergency was made up? How did that turn into marriage? You wanted to stop her from being self-destructive, right? Once you stopped her, that should have been the end of it.
Well, she cried and apologized to me. Said she was sorry for everything she'd done. And that she always regretted breaking up with me. When someone says that, wouldn't you want to get back together?
Huh? Don't suddenly act like this is normal. 4 years together means nothing to you?
Anyway, got back together with my ex. We're dating with marriage in mind, and I just proposed yesterday.
You're kidding. You proposed to another woman while engaged to me? How could you do this?
And it was a huge success. She said yes to the proposal, so I'm going with her instead. It's amazing that I finally got back together with the one I've always pined for.
Well, good for you. Wishing you happiness.
Look at the ugly girl trying to act tough.
What?
My girlfriend next to me told me to say that. She can be pretty harsh to other women.
So she's there reading our messages? I'm not acting tough at all. I am much better off not marrying a man who cheats with his ex. Please tell your girlfriend that I hope you trash belong together and live happily ever after.
What did you say?
I'm really glad this happened before I got a divorce record. Oh, should I return the engagement ring?
Keep that trash. The ring I gave you was just a toy anyway.
What? Really? You mean this whole time?
I used glass instead of a diamond because diamonds are expensive. Of course, I gave my ex a real diamond ring.
You really are the worst. Well, I'll throw it away without hesitation then. Please forget about me and be happy together.
We'll be happy without you telling us. You should hurry up and forget about me and find another man.
Don't worry about me. I already deleted your number.
Good. That makes things easier.
Goodbye, Tom.
Hey, Sarah? It's been a month. This is sudden, but will you marry me after all?
What? Is this some kind of joke?
And are you free today? If you're up for it, let's have the wedding right now. I've got the venue and dress all ready.
Are you drunk? Huh? You suddenly contact me and what's all this about? Don't you have your beloved ex that you can get back together with?
Well, she ran away again. Today, on our wedding morning.
What did you say?
Please, Sarah, I really need your help. We were so happy every day after getting back together. We were more in love than ever before. We got engaged and worked hard preparing for today's wedding together.
Then why did she run away on the wedding day? What happened?
She said she found someone she likes. She sent me a WhatsApp message saying that. She hasn't responded since then. Completely ghosted me.
What?
She didn't even show up at the venue.
So you immediately thought of me as a replacement?
Apparently her new workplace has this handsome boss who's also some company heir. She said she couldn't pass up the chance to marry into money, so she's calling off her wedding. That's what she wrote in the message.
She's even more free-spirited than I imagined. I'm almost impressed.
This isn't funny, Sarah. My parents and guests are already at the wedding venue. It's too embarrassing to suddenly cancel the wedding. So please, have the wedding with me today.
You idiot. Changing the bride at the last minute would be even more embarrassing.
No one would have to know. Shut up! It's the only option I have right now. We'll figure out some way to explain the bride change to everyone. Just hurry and come to the venue. You must still have feelings for me. This time I'll give you a real ring and let you marry me.
Sorry, but I'm already married.
What? You're lying.
I have a husband, so I can't marry you. Sorry, but you'll have to find another bride.
No way! What do you mean married? We just broke up a month ago. You didn't even have a boyfriend, let alone a husband.
Actually, right after we broke up, my childhood friend came to my house. He boldly confessed in front of my parents, asking, "Would you marry me instead?"
Childhood friend? You can't be serious.
It's embarrassing to talk about myself, but apparently he liked me all along, ever since we were kids. When he heard about my broken engagement with you, he rushed over the first chance to ask me to marry him. When he came in with an armful of roses, my heart literally skipped a beat.
And you said yes to that proposal?
Yes, I did. It was surprising, but more than anything, I was happy.
After just a month? No way! So you're a loose woman too?
Excuse me?
You moved on that quickly? Here I am offering to marry you, and you jump to another man in just a month? And getting excited over some roses? You're too cheap.
You never even gave me a single rose, not to mention your proposal. You just suddenly handed me a toy ring in the living room with zero romance. You're the one that bragged that it was made of glass. Don't be ridiculous.
I was saving money for our future.
My mom was thrilled about James, saying, "It's just like a movie." Dad approved too, saying he's known him since forever and feels at ease. So we started dating with marriage in mind, and we just recently registered our marriage. What's wrong with any of that?
But come on, be reasonable. Such a rushed marriage can't possibly work out. We dated for 4 years. How can you trust a man you've only dated for a month?
I trust him completely. He may have only been my boyfriend for a month, but he's been my childhood friend since preschool. We've known each other for over 20 years.
That doesn't count as a relationship. And you must still have feelings for me.
What?
We were together for 4 years. You were crazy about me, so you must still have feelings left. If you're married to another man, just get divorced. Come back to me.
Like I'd have any lingering feelings for trash like you. Serves you right getting played by your ex.
What?
At least my husband treats me with respect. You sound pretty pathetic, desperately clinging to the woman you dumped. I only regret wasting 4 years dating a man like you.
Here I am offering to marry you, and this is your attitude? Don't get cocky just because I dumped you miserably.
Excuse me?
Your husband must be some boring, plain guy anyway. There's nothing to brag about marrying someone like that.
Don't insult my new husband. You have no right to talk about him like that. He may not be as flashy as you, but he's a very sincere person. He's important to me and shows that he really loves me. He even prepared a proper engagement ring, unlike you. He gave me a beautiful, large diamond ring.
What?
Diamonds and glass really do shine and weigh differently. Thanks to you, I learned a good lesson.
Diamond rings are really expensive. No way your husband could have afforded that.
I'm blocking your number after this. If you want a wedding so badly, have one by yourself. Or put a dress on a mannequin. That kind of wedding suits you better.
Wait, Sarah!
So, you're the one who married the company heir. I was aiming to be his wife. Give him to me right now, you husband stealer. Who are you? I don't recognize this account. Don't play dumb. I'm Victoria, James's future wife. I'm much more suitable to be his wife than you, so I won't let you have him. How did you get my contact information? That doesn't matter. What matters is you're in my way. Excuse me, but where do you live? If you're in the same state, I can recommend a good neurologist. If you say that you've come from the future, you must have hit your head somewhere. If not, you should get a good doctor to take a look at you. Don't mock me. You think you're so clever. I'm not mocking you at all. I'm being very serious. You must have tricked him somehow. Just shut up and hand James over to me. I seriously care about him. I even abandoned my wedding on the day of the ceremony for his sake. What? You can't be serious. That proves how serious I am. No other woman would do something like that. I care about him so much I'd give up anything. I am definitely more suitable to be his wife than you. Wait a minute, you abandoned your wedding on the wedding day? By any chance, was the groom named Tom? Huh? How do you know Tom's name? Are you stalking me? Actually, I'm his ex-girlfriend, the one he dumped to get back together with you. What? You were that woman? No way. Indeed, I was. Thanks for that time. I'm the ex-girlfriend he broke up with right before the engagement announcement because of you. This can't be happening. What's going on here? Why are you married to my James? I thought Tom dumped you just a month or so ago. Your James? He was never yours to begin with. Actually, after that, I ended up marrying James, who was my childhood friend. But I never imagined that the company heir you were targeting was James. Childhood friend? You're lying. Come to think of it, he did mention recently that he moved to his uncle's company. Said he'd need to learn about management since he'd eventually inherit the family business. Stop acting like you know him so well. No, wait, what is this coincidence? And Tom was just a stepping stone for me. To think that a woman like you who got dumped by such a man would steal my future husband? I didn't steal anything. He was mine from the start. What? We've known each other since we were children. That doesn't mean anything. By the way, you should contact Tom. I heard he was really sad when you went no contact. I heard that the wedding was canceled and he felt humiliated. I don't care about that. I have a dream of marrying James. A dream? You don't even know him. I know enough. That dream will never come true because I'm his wife and he loves me. What did you say? You'll regret this. Well, then I'll be going now. Please don't try to interfere with my husband again. This isn't over. Actually, it is. I'm blocking you now. Wait!
Hey! Is this for real? Your husband is the company heir Victoria was after? Everything Victoria said was true?
Oh, you're using a different number now?
Answer me!
From your reaction, it seems she contacted you. I told her to contact you. You could show a little gratitude.
How dare you! Shut up! What gratitude? Both you and Victoria are the worst. All women are worthless trash.
What?
You knew all along, didn't you?
Knew what?
What the hell? So women are all about money after all. Both Victoria and you end up choosing men of money. That could have treated you so much better.
The only one judging by money is your ex. Don't lump me in with someone like her. Besides, you dumped me, and that's how I ended up marrying my husband. Don't act like you're the tragic hero here.
You must have planned this. But you didn't come back to me. I said I'd marry you. If you're not after money, then marry me.
Huh? How does that make any sense? You dumped me, remember?
I'm a laughingstock now that the wedding was canceled on the day of. My parents are furious, saying they were humiliated because of you. My friends are laughing, saying I was stupid to try marrying that woman. If this is how it is, I'll marry you and show them all.
You're still just thinking about yourself. Don't drag me into your self-satisfaction. If you want to get married that badly, ask your ex Victoria.
You don't understand anything. I don't care about her anymore. She finally contacted me just to say she was pregnant. She's always too unpredictable.
Oh, pregnant? Oh, congratulations.
Are you mocking me? Huh? What's there to congratulate? The baby's father's probably some other guy. She's claiming it's my child, but I'm not falling for that.
I understand why you'd think that way, but completely denying it is cruel. You were dating after all.
Dating? She was just using me. No, I won't believe anything about her anymore. She's the kind of woman who runs away to another man on her wedding day. If I trust her and marry her only to find out it's another man's child, that would be the end for me.
Don't worry, your life is already a complete embarrassment.
What?
You really haven't changed at all. It can't get any worse than paternity fraud. Selfishly dumping me to get back with your ex only to have her run away on your wedding day? It's a truly embarrassing, pathetic life. No matter what you do now, all your friends will keep making fun of you.
No. You become cruel.
I've just learned to be honest. Well, what happens next depends on you. If it really is your child, take responsibility properly. Well, then I hope it turns out well.
Wait! Don't you dare look down on me!
Goodbye, Tom. For good this time.
Sarah!
After that, Tom's ex Victoria quit her job and safely gave birth to her baby. When the paternity test was done, it was confirmed that Tom was indeed the father, and they ended up getting married. The wedding was a small, quiet affair, quite different from the grand ceremony they had originally planned. Most of their friends declined to attend, still remembering the scandal of their first attempted wedding. Tom's parents attended reluctantly, more concerned about their grandchild than the marriage itself. Victoria tried to contact me several times through different numbers to brag about the marriage, but I had blocked all unknown contacts. Eventually, Victoria gave up trying to reach out, too occupied with her new role as a mother to continue her previous schemes. However, I heard that Tom was shocked by the unexpected result of the paternity test and was saying, "Do I really have to raise a child with such a hopeless woman? She's the last person who should be a mother," while holding his head in his hands. He spends most of his time at work, avoiding coming home early, and tells his wife that he's working late while he's actually sitting alone at nearby bars. And Victoria herself had internally believed the father was someone else and had thrown unreasonable tantrums, saying, "Why does it have to be your child of all people? I wanted to have a more handsome man's baby." Their marriage devolved into constant arguments, with both of them regretting their hasty decision to marry for the sake of the child. Meanwhile, James and I remain happily married, having moved to a different city for James's work. We occasionally hear updates about Tom and Victoria through mutual friends, but we have long since moved on, and we're more focused on our own happiness. I'm making the most of the time I have with the one person who has always truly cared for me.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Is today's dinner starting at 6 p.m.? I'm sorry. If that's when it's starting, I'm going to be around an hour late as some more work just came up for me.
An hour late?
Do you think you can ask the restaurant about having the reservation pushed an hour back?
Wait, I can give them a call. I was the one that made the reservation in the first place, after all.
I'm really sorry, but thank you for doing that, Trevor.
I just gave them a call and it doesn't seem like we can change the reservation now.
Is that so? I am so very sorry. I'm going to try working even harder now to see if I can take care of all of this work.
Don't worry, I've already gone and canceled the dinner.
Really? We went through so much effort finding a time that worked for us to go there.
The only reason I wanted to go out to dinner and all there was because I wanted to have a word with you.
A word with me?
I wanted to find the right place and time to talk with you about breaking up. And since we are both engaged right now...
Wait, what do you mean by breaking up?
I'm sorry, but I've really been contemplating this. However, now, I want to break up with you.
But last week, you and I got our parents together to talk about us getting married, right? We've also started preparing for a wedding. What's going on here? Did something happen to you?
I really love you, and I don't want you to doubt me about that. But when it comes to breaking up with you, I've been thinking about it a lot.
But if you still love me, then why?
Actually, I was chosen to move overseas for work.
Overseas?
I know just how much you've been wanting to focus on your job as well, and that means you would never be able to move overseas with me. But for me, having to marry you and then move overseas without you for a long time, I would never be able to bear through that, and that's why I want to break things off now.
When were you told you'd have move overseas for work?
Actually, I was told about it over a half a year ago. At the time, I told them I couldn't. The company then started to ask other people about it, but when they all started to quit due to what the company was asking. And in the end, they came back asking me. But this time, it was more like commanding me.
Where will you have to go?
A pretty dangerous place. I hear the place is very bad for foreigners like myself.
And your company is asking for you to move out there? Has your company ever been located in places like that even?
They told me that they plan to expand the company over there and need me to go and help with that project. In other words, I'm going to be in charge of the process. I'll have to stay over there for some time without coming back to the States, and I'll be very busy. And that's why I'd feel bad being engaged or married to you and having to be so far away from you for years. That's the reason why I want for us to break things off. For your sake.
For my sake?
It's not the kind of country I can ask you to leave your job and move with me too. I also promised your parents that I'd take good care of you. So if I were to make you move out to a place like that, and something bad were to happen, I'd never be able to face them again. Right?
But I'm sure you've been worried about that.
I know that having to say this over text is pretty rough on my part. But if I were to have to tell you all of this straight to your face, I'm pretty sure I'd break down. So not going to the restaurant tonight actually works out nicely for me.
Hold on a second. Are you really 100% ready to break up with me right now?
I want to forget about marrying you right now. And after talking with the wedding coordinator, she told me that as long as we cancel all the prep work now, we'll get our money back. There won't be any penalties against us for calling things off now.
You've already been talking with them about that?
Please understand me, Annie. I have been worried about what choice to make here because I've been thinking about you. But me asking for us to break up was the best choice I had. I don't want to burden you in any way. I want for you to become happy, Anne. I think there is someone better for you out there who can do that.
This is all happening so quickly that I'm having a hard time processing it all. I think I need a little bit of time.
I'm sure you do. I'm so sorry for asking you to break up with me out of nowhere. But this choice I've made isn't going to change.
So you've already decided that you can't get married to me now? And that's led you to want to break things off with me right now.
I get that what I'm saying and asking for is very selfish of me. But it also has to do with you making you happy.
For my sake.
When you've had time to think all of this through, let's go talk with our parents again and tell them that this marriage is off. I'll be the one to call the wedding venue and have that wedding of ours canceled. I'm so sorry that things had to turn out this way.
Anne, are you doing all right? Of course you're not doing all right. Your fiancé told you that things are off after all. He's going to be moving overseas now, right? I know that was a lot to have to swallow, but have you had time to process everything now? Thank you so much for listening to everything I had to say afterwards. You don't have to thank me. You and I are best friends, right? Well, I'm feeling a lot better now, so we don't have to worry about me anymore. I kind of feel alright now knowing that everything has already been dealt with, and I can forget about Trevor. That's great to hear. I promise that I'll invite you later. Invite me? Don't tell me that you want me to come with you to another one of those speed dating events. I may be feeling better, but I'm not completely healed just yet. Not that. I'm talking about a wedding. A wedding? Huh. Whose wedding is this? My wedding, of course. Why would I invite you out to some random person's wedding like that? Indy, you're getting married? Actually, yes I am. The wedding won't be for another 3 months though. 3 more months. I know that's around the same time you plan having your wedding, right? As a matter of fact, that empty spot your cancelled wedding left open, I made sure to take over. Is that so? Well, congratulations. I've felt kind of bad for you after that bad news, so I was wondering if I should even invite you or not. But since you're my best friend, I knew I needed to invite you to my wedding. However, if coming is going to be too much for you, don't force yourself to come. No worries, I'm alright with it. I'm feeling a lot better now. And being invited to the wedding of one of my bestest friends is something I really appreciate. So I'll be there. Really? I'm so happy to hear that. So it's going to be at the same place where I was planning on having my wedding at? That's right. And actually, it'll be on the same day as well since we took over your spot. Alright, I'll make sure to leave the date open then for your wedding. Since you know the date, time, and place, I don't need to send you a physical invite, right? That's fine. You don't need to waste any effort on me. Thank you, Anne. There is one thing I'd like to ask of you, though, if you don't mind. What's that? There's actually been something I've wanted all this time. I've been wanting there to be a performance at my wedding, where most people would have their siblings and stuff included in it, while I get changed. Ah, lots of people do something like a performance. But I don't have any siblings, so I would like you to be there for me, to maybe say a speech or something as my best woman. So you'd like me to be with you at your side as well, when you're up there with your fiancé? That's right. I know this is a lot to ask of you, but you're okay doing it all for me, right? As long as you really want me to be the best woman. You are the only person I want being my best woman. Thank you so much. Now I'm really excited for my wedding day. I don't think I'm going to be able to relax now from this excitement. Now, make sure you're there for my wedding, no matter what comes up. Of course. Having been asked to take on such a massive responsibility by you, I'll leave that day open. I'm looking forward to this. Same here, same here. I'll see you in 3 months then. Thank you so much for not backing out and actually coming out to my wedding. You were pretty shocked, right? I was wondering why you ran out of here so quickly, but it all makes sense now, seeing as you were in complete denial of what you'd seen. Can I ask you what the hell this is about? What the hell this is about? Well, the man I'm getting married to today is your ex-boyfriend. That's all. But he didn't break up with you saying he was moving overseas? That's too bad. He was never being asked by his company to move overseas for work. So 3 months ago, right after he'd broken up with me, you guys had already decided to get married? That's right. At that time, him and I already had gotten our parents together to talk about how we'd be getting married. The thought was that we'd be ready to marry. So what's going on there? When I came here today, both of Trevor's parents were sat out in their seats, yet they were both people I'd never even seen before. Does this mean that back when he had me meeting his parents for that whole time, they weren't actually his real parents? Right on the money. Those two people you met, who he said were his parents, were two adults he paid to act as his parents. You really thought that they were the real deal? Why the hell would he do something like that?
Trevor always wanted to get married to me, but at the time, I'd refused to marry him.
You refused his proposal.
The thing is, back when I had another man that I was after, the plan was that I'd be getting married to him.
What the hell? So you're telling me that the both of you were cheating on your significant others with each other?
I was just keeping Trevor around. It's natural for women to always keep a few men around in case their main man ends up running off, right? At the time he proposed to me, I said no. But he was being harassed by his parents to get married already, so out of desperation, he went and proposed to you next.
So I was his second choice.
Are you shocked by that? Hearing that you weren't ever his number one is a shocker for you. Stop acting so surprised. When I had heard that he went to you and asked for your hand in marriage after me, I got a little upset.
What's going on here? You weren't even interested in him at the time and just were keeping him to the side, right?
But knowing that he'd be getting taken by someone like you didn't sit well with me. If he was willing to marry someone like you after asking me, then he'd be better off with me in the end.
That thought led me into thinking that I did want to marry him. So I went and told him that I wanted to be his wife after all, and that's when we started to plan a way for him to get rid of you. And one of the plans was to have you meet with some fake parents, so that his real parents could meet me. So he was so desperate to leave me that he would take things that far in order to have you as his wife instead. Your wedding with him was never really cancelled either. He just told the staff to change the name of the woman he was getting married to mine. That was the plan from the start after all. He always acted like he never cared about where the wedding took place, but now I can see why he was so interested in this one place that I honestly didn't care too much about. He wanted this place because he knew he'd be marrying you here, and not me. I thought that at that time, the only reason he wanted this place was because he felt bad for never choosing any of the places I wanted, and thought that here at least met some of my requirements. He was also able to get you to pay for a part of the wedding's preparation fees as well, right? Now, lucky for me, I thought that you would ask him for the money, so during the breakup, because it cost you your time with him and the wedding. But instead, you took the money he said he'd gotten for canceling the wedding and never said another word to him. Thank you. Now that you mention it, I did pay for half of those preparation fees. You forgot about that then. You're such an idiot. Well, because of your help, we were able to make this beautiful wedding that we're getting now to celebrate today. I'll thank you for that one. And as part of my thanks, let me tell you something juicy. I actually stole him from you 1 year ago. You stayed a friend of mine this whole time while I was doing him behind your back. I knew all about that though. Oh, what? Huh? Are you trying to be all tough now? I'm not acting tough right now, as I really have known this whole time. And when he came to talk with me about breaking up, I knew well enough that this was the reason for that was. Huh? There's no way that's true. You were completely ruined after that day, right in front of my eyes. That was me drinking a whole bunch to drown out my sadness. That was me getting hammered to celebrate our breakup. You celebrated that breakup? I knew about how he was going out with you behind my back and was getting ready to finally talk with him about calling everything off. But I was still in the works of thinking about how to tell him off and how to make him pay for what he'd done to me. Yet, before I could make my choice, he was telling me about a lie about how he had to move overseas for work. He told me that he wanted to break up, and that put an end to some of my plans. So I went and slammed some cocktails with you and started to think of a new plan. I told you, right? I was feeling so much better after that breakup. Hold on a minute. Since when did you know about that? I mean, you shouldn't have ever been able to tell what was going on. I figured things out when him and I started to plan our wedding. While him and I were talking about the wedding planner, he was constantly asking for things that weren't my taste, even though by then he should have known very well what my tastes were, and that seemed rather fishy to me. He would rather also get up to random moments during that talk and go to the restroom to sit on his phone for 5 minutes at a time. There was no looking around what was going on. What? I was wondering what the heck was going on with him, so I started to pay closer attention to the details. And boy was I shocked when I found out that he was talking with you about the wedding plans. If you knew about all of that, then why didn't you ever say anything? Why? Why do you think? You never really loved Trevor that much is why? That's not the right answer, but don't worry about that right now. You asked me to be a part of your wedding today, so I'm going to make sure that I do that before revealing the real answer. So you were never really shocked to see me with your ex today then, huh? You can't tell me that when you saw me coming down the aisle with your ex in my hands, you didn't feel anything. So, that was your plan then all along. You went out of your way to invite me here to your wedding and asked me to be your best woman, also that you could see me in shock when I had to learn that you were planning to marry Trevor this whole time. I thought I'd have my chance to finally show you just how much of an ugly bitch you are. I always thought that you were a very good friend of mine from back in the day, but I guess not. Don't run away from me and get back into this venue right now. I don't care what you've known about me being with your fiancé that whole time. I want you to sit there in misery while watching my wedding. Once I've seen that, I'll really be happy and won't ever bother you again. I promise I'll be back in there to finish my job as your best woman, all the way to the very end. Where the hell are you right now? What the hell are you planning? What the hell is this? My wedding is a complete train wreck right now. After having gone out there on stage with you, we all walked out to the back, and from there I decided to start heading home. I did what you asked me to do and gave that speech to entertain your guest while you had left to get changed into your party dress, right? I never asked for this. Well, that's odd. All I asked for was that you be my best woman and stand next to me while you were in tears writhing at the fact that I was marrying your ex. And I just did that. But it wasn't just me standing up there with you. And that's a huge part of the freaking problem. What? I thought you wanted your wedding to be entertaining, and so I went out and gathered all the women Trevor had been cheating on me with, and then brought them all into your wedding with me for you. I never asked for this, and I had no clue that he had many other women besides you and me. Trevor's the one that knows a whole lot more about all those other girls than I do, so go talk with him. He ran away from here. He locked himself in one of the rooms here, and now the whole wedding is going into chaos with all of my guests up in arms. Well, I could see why that's the case, because when all those girls came with me, they got to the stage and all introduced themselves to your guests as Trevor's side chicks. I love that part a lot, especially when they started to number themselves off and said they were happy to have played a part in Trevor's harem. And because of that, my wedding is screwed. And what the hell? You explain to me right now why he had all these other girls. I told you that I don't know what they are all about, but since you can't seem to find Trevor anywhere, I guess I can try my best. I told you before that something was fishy about the man, and so I started to search deeper, right? And after asking a friend of mine who was good at doing this kind of detective work, they were able to uncover a lot more than I first thought about Trevor. I went and hired a lawyer, and with the help of them, we called every single one of those girls and learned that not only did they never know that he had a fiancé, they did not know that he was with a bunch of other girls. He really had himself quite the group, didn't he? What? And after getting together with all of those girls, we shared all the evidence we had proving that he'd been cheating on me with each and every one of them. We worked on writing up a settlement that we would like him to pay off. A settlement? I'll be getting a settlement from you as well, because unlike the rest of the girls, you knew that he was engaged to me while you slept with him. Hold on a second. I'm already dealing with my parents telling me they don't approve of this marriage anymore and are asking all of the guests here to take back all of the money they gave to me. So how the hell am I going to pay off a settlement to you? But you were the one that wanted all of this, right? I'm not sure if you really thought that it would be a good idea or not to try and make me feel terrible today. But when you learned that the man who had proposed to you first then went and proposed to me without ever actually wanting to marry me, you all of a sudden became jealous and went to steal him back, right? I was just... Well, there's no point in bothering with that now. I'll be talking with you about the settlement next week, so please wait for that. You still have the choice to make of whether you want to really marry Trevor or not. But just know that today your best woman was all of us women who have been going out with Trevor at the same time as you. So please, take a second to think if you really want to get married to him or not still.
This is all your fault.
Oh no. Even though I lied to you about my love for you and the fact that I would still have to move away from you to some dangerous country right before our wedding, and used that as my reason for breaking up with you. How dare you bring all of my harem into my wedding and make a fool of me for all of the things I knowingly did to myself. Wait, hold on a second. None of this is my fault though, right?
I thought I'd done a perfect job hiding all of those girls I'd been with from one another, but then you went and looked into them. Now they're asking me for settlements. I'm going to lose all my money now, and my company is no longer going to be able to trust me. Why would you do this to me?
Really, sucks that some of your higher-ups were there at your wedding.
They're all telling me that they had no clue about the lies I was telling everyone about myself. And now they're saying they won't ever be able to leave me in charge of any more of their projects because they don't know what I'm telling the truth or lying about anymore. Now I have no work at all. I had finally been given so many big chances after finally entering that company years ago, and this was going to be my way of moving up. I was supposed to be promoted into a manager after this last project.
Now that I think about it, before the wedding even started, and I was about to walk in, I saw an older gentleman looking at the announcement board outside.
That was my boss! What the hell did you say to him?
I talked with him about how you'd said that you were forced to move overseas for work, but that no longer seemed to be the case. I heard all about how he would be sending you to this really dangerous place, and that he wouldn't have taken his wife with him if that were still the case. I was just talking with him about all the things you had told me before, right? Did you make a rule stating that I couldn't talk to anyone else about that?
Crap. That right there really screwed me.
Don't start blaming me for that lie. Just because you didn't do a good enough job hiding it from others doesn't mean you can take it all out on me. This is all your fault after all.
I will apologize to you for cheating, because I really did love you back then. So could you at least step back from asking for a settlement from me, please?
What are you talking about? Out of all the women you were with, I was the only one who wore the engagement ring you gave to me. I think I'm the only one who should be getting the most money out of you after you destroyed that trust that we had. Also, the money you promised me for having canceled the wedding, I want it.
You want that as well? That all happened months ago.
You're the only one who seems to think that the past can never come back to bite you in the ass then.
So you're really still mad about that as well?
When it has to do with my money, yes. Right now you're using the money I paid to have this wedding with Indy, right? Well, my lawyer doesn't really like the idea of that, so I'll let him know that you're not willing to cooperate with me on that.
Your lawyer? You're joking, right? I never thought that something like this would happen to me.
Well, then, perhaps it's time that you learn what it really means to be an adult, instead of thinking that everything just revolves around you. In the end, Trevor was told to pay a settlement to every single one of those girls he had involved in his scheme for lack of better terms. However, he didn't want to take responsibility for any of it until both of his parents got a hold of him and told him that he'd be paying them, even if it were the last thing he ever did. And so, he finally paid everyone, including myself, without saying another word about it. After all of the people that Indy had invited to her wedding found out about what her plan was and how she even got a hold of Trevor, they all stopped talking to her and her parents disowned her. She never did end up marrying Trevor and is now completely on her own. Having also been with my ex knowing that we were engaged, she had to pay me a settlement and is currently paying off that and part of the failed wedding.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.